right, so our first guest has been doing big things for the Bronx community with a background in broadcasting and communications. She's cultivating meaningful community partnerships to provide new and initiative programming for Bronxites. She is the founder of Canvas Culture LLC, a profit arts events company that specializes in custom art and creative events for people of all ages. And Canvas Culture LLC is also devoted to creating community programming such as Life Master Reset, a motivational life coaching course, and Bronx Poetry, Poetry Collective, and Literary Arts Program. And here to share more, please welcome community advocate, entrepreneur, curator, and Canvas Culture LLC founder, Shay Goring. Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget all the things that I do, and then when I hear it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I do all of those things.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a beautiful thing to be reminded and to be able to reflect on it, right?
Yes, it is.
And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers because you know it's a beautiful thing for me when a person decides that you know what, I'm gonna go my way and I'm gonna do it my way, and you know what? And on top of that, I'm gonna do it being of service, which is really the driving force behind everything you do. Even though you've got this tree and then you've got all these
the branches.
Yeah. So let's talk about which came first.
Okay. So honestly, what came first, I think I started SWB Radio when I was still working for the police department as a dispatcher. And I knew that I wasn't happy there, but I wasn't quite trying to figure out where I belonged. So it wasn't until I started SWB Radio and SWB Radio took off. I went on to FM, then I got the contract with Hot 97 to start doing their, their performances. And I was just like, what is going on? And then finally, I left NYPD to go to FDNY as a dispatcher trying to find happiness.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, I quit, started a business, went back to college, graduated with honors from Lehman College, cum laude, and then everything just trickled down from there. I started working for New York City Council straight after college, and then that was it.
Wow, that's an interesting route. That's an interesting route. Okay, so just for clarity purposes, right? Because we went a little bit this way.
That's all the things I did.
You know, but that's that artist mentality, right? Because here, from what I heard, from what you just shared, is like your voice was your instrument.
Literally.
Right. It was your instrument. It was your instrument through dispatching. It was your instrument through working on the radio. And despite the fact that you went from the NYPD to the FDNY.
It was still same thing, dispatching, still talking, running my mouth. But I think I was more so
I wasn't going to put it like that.
Running my mouth, but realizing that
it.
money is not the key to happiness. That's what pretty much the moral of the story is, that you're chasing money and you will never find happiness in money. You have to give back to the community and you have to give back to yourself. That's the community. That's where community starts, within yourself.
It's true. Yeah. You're absolutely 100% correct because right now where you're at, right, I'm going to say based on what I've experienced in the research is it's like a whole 360 of being with community, right? You were serving community, but now you're being with it and you're creating the environment. So now let's talk about community within the Canvas culture.
Yeah, so we started our Juneteenth Family Day events at Pelham Bay Park. And, you know, it started out as something small where people can just come and get together and celebrate Juneteenth. But from then, it grew. So then we had various vendors come out and serve things for the kids, little poetry workshops for children, art workshops for children. We gave Bronx artists opportunity to perform. Then we worked with the New York City Public Library to give back for Bronx poetry. So we work in the community with doing writing and reading workshops, working on reading comprehension in the Bronx as well.
So here's the thing though. You went from dispatcher to radio to then event coordinator. Like how did that happen? Did that happen when you started working in for the elected official?
I've always done events.
Got it.
Throughout my life, I've always, whether it was like parties or whether it was art parties, poetry performances, open mics, that was something that always was a part of my life.
Got it. All right, good. So we straighten that out right now. But then there's the sip and pain factor, right? So that seems to be the most prominent event that you put together of all of the events?
Well, it's not really an event. So what we do with Canvas Culture LLC is we provide therapeutic art events to our clients. So whether it's a corporate or private client, we'll offer, whether it's a sip and paint, whether it's a therapeutic art event where they're painting themselves and reflecting on their own lives.
Nice.
Exactly. We do tie-dye events. So it's not so like public parties, but they book our company to host those things within their company.
Got it. So you have clients that you work specifically with that, I guess, commission these events.
Exactly.
Right?
I actually had a contract with Lehman College when they did their carnival, and we actually curated their whole concert under Canvas Culture LLC, where we had performances such as poetry, singers, rappers, all together.
So, talk to me about what kind of like transformations you've witnessed in people being in the space together, excuse me, and actually reflecting through their painting, right? Because I think there's something to be said when you're able to trust your own process and trust that it's going to turn out the way you visualize it.
Exactly. Well, for me personally, I always say when we're hosting events, don't be overcritical of your work. I feel like once you become overcritical, you take away the therapeutic aspect of it, and it's all about just having fun, right? So I always tell people your painting is not gonna look like the person to your left or to the right. One eye might be a little saggy, one person might need a BBL, and one person got one already.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. I think that it's just the point of you sitting down, centering yourself, and being able to just express yourself with colors. And that's literally it. And you'll see people like they'll be all stressed out in the beginning, and towards the end they're like smiling and they're happy and they're more relaxed, you know? So that's why I like doing events more so in corporate environments, because people tend to be more uptight and more like, and you see them walking away like, oh my God, I feel so good now. I feel amazing. I'm like, good. Now go home and relax, drink some wine and take a nap,
No, but it's necessary, right?
Yes.
And it's beautiful. I think what you've done is really smart, actually. No, because we're living in a society right now where the restoration of balance is crucial, right? And even if it comes disguised in this event of like, oh, let's just get together and paint, that's what it may seem like. But it's really serving on a grander level,
Yes, it
right?
is.
On a deeper level. And so, is that where Life Mastery Reset was born?
Yeah, so Life Master Reset courses, I actually started teaching the courses about a year after I started Canvas Culture LLC during women retreats, and I realized that I kind of like reset my life in such a way that I had to tell my story, right? So I started just coaching people one-on-one, then I facilitated in shelters and pretty much rehab facilities, and just sharing people the steps that I took to change my life, and hopefully creating that change within them.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
taking you in right now. I know you can see it, right? Because you know why? Because you're wearing so many hats, but they're all related. They're all related, and it sounds to me, I don't know if you work seasonally or how you actually coordinate all of this and curate it, where you're focused primarily on your Reset Mastery program or the curations of these events, and then there's the poetry, which we haven't even discussed yet. And then there's the intergenerational aspect of it, because I know you're working with that as well.
Exactly. So for me personally, I will always tell people, no man is an island. You can't do anything by yourself. I actually work full-time for the government as well as doing all of this as well. I would be nowhere without my team. So quick little shout out, Mika J. Woods, Dora, thank you guys so much. My new team member, Lisa and Melissa, thank you guys so much. And honestly, you need a team. You need a team, because there's no way that I could possibly do all of this by myself. Yeah.
That's beautiful, and that as it should, right? As you should be acknowledging them, because the truth is that none of us walk alone. Not really, right? It's important to have that self-care approach, but in order to really take care of oneself, you need community.
A team. And I feel like, having a team and a solid team is self-care, because you're caring about yourself and you're caring about your capacity. A capacity is a huge thing. And if you overwork yourself and overload yourself, first of all, why?
Right.
Why?
Right, right.
There's a planet with people. We are meant to be in communities. That's why
Yes.
there's villages.
Yes,
You know? So
yes.
you need your village,
Yes,
you know?
yes. Preach, preach, preach. I'm listening. No, it's true. It's true. I mean, you see here, you're in the studio. You see how many people it takes to put up the
Exactly.
show. I mean, I get to represent us all, but at the end of the day, none
Yeah.
of this is possible
Exactly.
without the team, right? And so now let's talk about the Bronx poetry, because now that's another form of therapy, right?
Yes.
In the writing, in the releasing, in the presenting. So, so how does that work? Are you a poet yourself?
I am a poet. I write. I don't perform. I write for myself. And I feel like, each writer realizes their niche. So I always tell people, just because you're a writer, you don't have to force yourself to perform. But anyway, with Bronx Poetry, it started out as an open mic in the Bronx, right? So we started doing open mics. And then what I realized is that I can be actually more impactful if I worked on getting these Bronx artists paid gigs, right? I think that people perform for free, and it is okay to perform for free. I'm not saying that. But one thing I'm really serious on is being able to pay for talent, and they need the money. They need the money, So I started working with various contracts. I actually just did an event with the Bronx Borough President where I facilitated all of the art. So all of the performers that she had there was through me.
Nice, nice. Nice, and you're absolutely right about what you're saying, right? It's so, in the beginning, you got to pay your dues. That's what you have the open mics for, to work out the kinks and refine. But then once you get to that level of like, okay, it's ready, it's like putting a package together.
Exactly.
Right? And then when the package is put together, you gift it to somebody, right? But the person who's gifting pays for the gift.
Exactly. That's the simplest way. You got to pay for this, Like, this is my art. This is what I invested time in. This is my skill. And if you enjoy it, you should pay me. And that's another reason why we used to have this jar called the Show Love Jar with Bronx Poetry when we did the open mics. And I would walk around and be like, show love. Show love. Oh, you at the bar buying a drink? So that means you could show love. Show love. Like, literally, and give the money away. And it changed people's lives. It really did. It changed people's lives,
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for taking that on as one of your initiatives, right? We advocate here on Open, is what we do, right? I'm an artist myself. I'm a poet myself, too. So I understand all of this, right? And so what we do is we provide the platform for them to be documented, so then they have the package to present, right? So, and also show some leverage of like, look, I've been on television as well. And I say this because I'm a huge advocate for the artists. We were there with them and for them throughout the pandemic. We were the platform for them to present. And on top of that, it's like it takes a community. It's its
really
own
does.
movement as well.
It really
and
does.
I'm saying this, and I guess I'm echoing what you're saying, because people have a tendency to just make this assumption. It's like, oh, I have a platform for you to present, and it's like, yes, but it's more than just having a platform to present. It's my livelihood.
Exactly. This is my life.
Yeah. So do you ever mix them all together?
Yeah, so for my Women's Month event, I tend to do like a I don't know. I don't even know what it's called. It's like a soup of everything. So there'll be like an art bar, like a sancocho. Yeah. So it's like a sancocho, right? So I'll have performances, which everyone is paid. We'll do a little art bar where people can come and sit down and do some paint. Then, we'll have some writing in the back or whatever, and definitely networking. Women are able to come together, and it's an award show. So I use that opportunity to give awards and show homage to the women who have impacted the world for the year 20. So yeah, that's coming up March 28th, by the way. So I'm really excited. So that'll be at Confetti. So I'm really excited to give some awards to some deserving. That is like my BFF. I love her so much, and it's random, but we do kind of the same thing.
Right.
But we took each other under our wing, and I'll hit her up and be like, "How much you charge for this?
Right.
What do you think about this?" And
Right.
she's like, "Oh, girl, well, I charge this," and I'm like, "Okay." And then she'll hit me up and, "Shay, how do you do this?" And I'm like, "Girl, okay, listen." And that type of partnership is very rare that you find somebody
Everybody's
like that.
always trying to conceal when
Yeah.
in fact we need to inform.
Exactly.
Because then you can go for the corporate dollars and both benefit.
Yep.
Preach.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. So once again, that event that's happening in
That's
March.
on March 28th. March 28th, that's on a Thursday at 6 p.m.
All right. So where can people go to keep
So
updated on
that
it?
information will be on our page at Canvas Culture LLC on Instagram, and then it'll also be available on Eventbrite.
All right. And so with regards to the Life Master
Reset course.
yeah, what
So
about
they
that?
can go right to my website, canvasculturellc.com, and I'll send you the complete package so that you can read about it and we can formulate a package and a curriculum that works for your company.
Love it, love it. Shay Goring, everyone. Once again, community advocate, entrepreneur, curator, and Canvas Culture LLC founder. And if you're interested in any of the information we discussed today, you can visit canvasculturellc.com. Stay tuned, there's more open when we return.